Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Ishvaro Guratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Yom Abda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatosh Maham Om Shanti 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 Om. Okay, at the very bottom of page 1154, verse 5, chapter 6, Bhagavad Gita. One should uplift oneself by oneself. One should not lower oneself by oneself, for the self alone is the friend of oneself. The self alone is the enemy of oneself. So we have seen before the general sadhanas, which prepare the mind for upasana and nididhyasana. And Krishna Guru did not stop there. He presented some other aspects of this preparing kind of a stage of sadhana. He says that not only we should have a certain lifestyle, observing Dharma and understanding the Ishvara system, but we need to exercise with also our willpower, okay? Also by choosing Dharma. So he started pointing out to the fact that we also we can, the mind, the reflected consciousness, let's put it like that, has the original limitless consciousness as our true nature and our source of everything, source of existence, source of human consciousness, and so on. So the human consciousness, we can either be friendly to the original self, original Atma, by observing Dharma, the laws and principles of this apparent order, in a way that we can uplift ourselves instead of destroying ourselves psychologically and mentally and spiritually. So he's pointing out to the willpower of the individual and the possibility we have to discipline the mind. We have seen some of that in the class of the Mandukya yesterday. So we need to have the power, the willpower to conform to Dharma. Because as we say, wherever we go, a lot of people tend to think, so I'm going to change relationship, I'm going to change house, I'm going to change town, I'm going to change country, I'm going to go somewhere where I may find better, more happiness, and so on. But the expression says that wherever I go, there I am. I take my apparent nature with me. So this apparent nature needs to be worked upon, has to be worked upon, because our intellect can either help us to accomplish our fundamental purpose in life, or it can be used to obstruct everything. Either it's going to help us, and as we know, fate or destiny depends. It's connected with my actions and my thoughts and my words. It is a system, that is self-feeding. I forgot the expression in English. Self-reinforcing system. So our effort to uplift, to purify, refine, and improve our intellect, our attitudes, and so on, is going to influence our parabada. Now, parabada is coming, and when it comes, it cannot be sent back. But I need to use my intellect as I interact with the Dharma field so that I can bring actions and attitudes and thoughts and words into the field that's going to purify and refine my mind. Yeah? So he's talking about the exercise of the intellect or the free will. Yeah? To uplift oneself means to say uplift my apparent nature, improve my apparent nature. He's pointing out to the importance of self-effort, self-discipline, the exercise of free will, and for that we need willpower, because as we know, it's not easy to go against that tsunami of cosmic ignorance governing most of human beings. Huh? And then Swami explores more and more on the nature of free will. I think we have seen some of this last time. We can never say that everything is predetermined, because we have a free will which allows us to change our vasanas, to modify, to reprogram our causal body. There are several ways we can put it. So the causal body, the body of vasanas, they are there, the impressions, residual knowledge, memories, informations, or tendencies, or patterns that are there. They were developed through our interactions with the Dharma field. And now I start connecting the dots because I understood the Ishvara system, the causal, the subtle, and the physical material. And now I know there is only one way to go about improving my Vasana load. I cannot go there because I have no access, because the Vasana body, this causal body, is too subtle. But being intelligent beings and taking the help of the scriptures, we know that by inference, I can have a certain understanding of my body of vasanas, my causal body. And I know that they are connected with my conscious mind and the words and actions that I put in the field. And then I say, I'm going to work on this level here, on the subtle and the physical, disciplining my mind, my thoughts, and my words and my deeds, because I know that I'm going to begin transforming my vasana load. And then it's not that everything is predetermined, because I'm always in time to begin changing my sanchita karma, okay? Also by producing vasanas based on spiritual knowledge, the knowledge in regards to Nitya, Ishvara Jiva Atma, and the spiritual knowledge in regards to Satya. So therefore, there is no point in taking one extreme or the other. We can never say everything is just destiny or everything is just free will, our choice. No, because even if we exercise our choice in harmony with Dharma, intelligently, wisely, still there are actions, words, and attitudes of the past that still are influencing my parabada. And not, if that was not enough, there are many other factors of other human beings and other force, that are also contributing to each one of our parabada. So I don't have total free will in regards to my destiny, but I'm not completely impotent, meaning to say that I cannot do anything, therefore I do nothing. No effort is needed, no discipline is needed, no study of the scriptures needed, no understanding of God is needed. What's the difference between fate and fatalism? When we talk about fate, we talk about fate as one of the factors which influence our future, our destiny. So this is a balanced view. What is the balanced view? Fate is one factor which will determine. Parabada is one of the factors that determine my life, my future. Yeah? Parabada karma, puna karma kalam. The results of my actions, they manifest, and that's what it is. And as we know, with Karma Yoga, we understand that we don't have full control over Parabada. Therefore, our main focus is to develop the strength to deal with papam karma, adverse circumstances, and so on. So that is the understanding. It's a balance. I develop the strength to receive whatsoever is fructifying, which is not much favorable to my happiness, to my likes and dislikes, and so on. But at the same time, I develop the strength, the mental, emotional, and intellectual strength to harmonize or to conform my words, and deeds to the laws and principles, meaning to say the Dharma. So we need discipline in both levels. Discipline when we put out an action, and discipline when I receive, because I need to say, no, I'm not going to be kicking and screaming and blaming everyone around and blaming God, because I understood the Ishvara system. I understood that I'm also responsible among with all other beings. And that is a balanced, wise way to deal with this very profound and difficult for many subjects, such as called as free will and fate. By using my free will appropriately, we'll be able to either eliminate some aspects, some negative effects on my parameter. I will be able to reduce the intensity, and I will be able as well to develop the strength to receive papa karma, with balance, with elegance, All of that goes with the appropriate use of free will, because as I'm trying to point out, so I need free will the moment that a good exercise of my discriminating and choosing ability when I put an action into the field. But I have to also use the same intellect, the same viveka, to receive the results whenever they are adverse, okay? Likewise, intelligently, and wisely, and with mental strength, It is a choice. It is a choice. It's not difficult to receive without kicking and screaming. And it's not easy to put an action in harmony with Dharma when my likes and dislikes are pressing me, unconsciously. So in both ways, there is a certain exercise of our viveka, okay, which is another way to look into the free will. Free will is the ability to discern and to choose my actions when I'm acting, and my attitude as well when I act out and when I receive the results. So therefore, we can eliminate, we can minimize the effects of bad paravada, or reduce the intensity, and simultaneously increasing or improving my ability to receive whatsoever intensity of papa karma. You understand? And then he talks about three kinds of parabada: a strong, powerful one, a medium one, and a flib, a very light one. Powerful ones we cannot stop. Medium ones can be managed feeble ones can be eliminated easily by our exercise of free will. No, we have seen this concept in many texts, sometimes referring to Vasan, sometimes referring uh, to desires. In here is referring to Parabada. Some Parabadas, they are manifesting very strongly. And then we know that in those cases, we need to just count with our strengths to receive difficult, adverse parameters without crashing, let's say. You understand? So, and then that is a powerful one. I have to count on my ability, and then I can just hold on to God, to ask God, give me a strength to deal with so much adversity and pain, Those are the strong ones. There's nothing we can do. So the medium ones we can manage. So a parabada is coming, that goes to something that I often refer in Portuguese language. So when the parabada comes, you have to somehow work on the conflicting parabada, almost there is some conflict with some circumstance or some people, and then you need to manage it. Try to turn a bad parabada into a okay parabada by bad, no, medium, a medium parabada in a more favorable. So we can improve the parabada by, working on it, managing it. And there are some small light papa or light parabada, no, not so adverse, just a little bit that we can just let it be, We can eliminate or we can just let it be. It's just a small irritation in the mind that goes quickly without you having to deal with the situation and try to administrate or manage or change or working with it. You just let it pass as a small irritation. All of that is by using our viveka, our discrimination, discernment, or free will. So therefore, Krishna, in this verse, is emphasizing the appropriate employment of this free will, the ability to discern and choose proper actions and proper attitudes. Then in the following class, he begins remembering that we are dealing with the chapter on meditation, and we begin, before meditating, we need to do certain other sadhanas to prepare the mind for upasana. The previous general efforts of sadhanas is referred here as Bahiranga sadhanas. We see in the Bahiranga sadhanas, the most important is the understanding of Ishvara Jiva Jagata, the Karma Yoga. And then Krishna prescribed as Karma Yoga, or this Bahiranga, as the maintenance of the pose of the mind. So it's to keep the mind strong enough, stable, in balance, so that it does not experience strong, violent emotional reaction, because strong emotional reactions compromise our entire subtle body, let's say, because compromise our intellect, compromise our ego, our self-esteem, and compromise the entire memory system. So we need to have so much of a balanced mind, and here he puts it as maintenance of the poise of the mind, pose. Even when we go through different kinds of experience, we do not have control of the experience. Now, all the time, when we go through different kinds of experience, we never have really control of the field of experience. The experience out there, and they are appearing as a byproduct of several other factors other than only myself. So I cannot control the external world, field of interaction. So since I do not have this control, I do not have control, for example, of people's behavior. So you don't have control over the mind and behavior and the choice of your husband or wife. It may be surprising sometimes, and I cannot control. It's unpredictable. Since I do not have any control over the external conditions of my life, the only thing I can do is to adjust is my own response to the condition. So this is the samatvam, is the ability to use your free will to accept everything as prasada, At least this is fortunately is in my hands. And that power to adjust, to develop this mental, emotional balance and strength is what we gain with Karma Yoga. This adjustment, improvement of my mindset, my mind emotional set, as opposed to trying to manage the setup, the circumstance, the field. So I'm working on my mind. This adjustment is brought about naturally by Karma Yoga knob. If you use the Karma Yoga method, you will develop this mental emotional strength, this poise of mind. Krishna mentioned in the second chapter of the Gita, the first general discipline is to have a poised mind. By the word poised, am I pronounce it correctly? Poised. In order to have a poised mind. By the word poised mind, we mean freedom from violent emotions or reactions. When I have violent emotions, my mind is totally disturbed. I get lost. I respond inappropriately for the following interactions. I lose control over my life. And we need to learn to avoid that. Sometimes people drive the two-wheelers. They do example of motorcycles in India, which are the majority of the vehicles, and they have the ability of almost lose control, but they find the balance and they carry on. Sometimes on a small motorcycle, 4 or 5 people carrying several packages, and they never really crash. This is samatva in India, the ability to keep the balance. Emotional immunity is what we get from Karma Yoga. Is the capacity to keep a certain balance in spite of all these emotional paravadas, strong paravadas. Here he puts it, the capacity to be balanced or recovered quickly, emotional traumas, scars, or adversities. If we have got that, we are health, psychological health is a samatva mind, is a balanced mind. So, okay, and then I'm going, this sounds really good. I'm going to let go of Vedanta and I'm going to do therapy with a psychologist to get psychologically health. So no, nobody gets psychologically health doing psychology, because psychology does not address the fundamental problem. Only Karma Yoga does address. Psychology is going to work on the surface very superficially to try to make people functional. It helps people to find workability in a psychological dysfunctional society. And the very person is psychological dysfunction, but is going to try to adjust so that it can function somewhat. No? Okay. which is brought about by Karma Yoga, in which the primary help or role is played by the Lord himself. So Lord is the backup. So this Samatyavan was talked about in the fourth verse, the previous verse, of this chapter. So he's saying here that the primary help or role to gain Samatyavan or mental emotional strength at this level, the level of Karma Yoga, is played by the Lord himself, because you have understood the Lord, you understood your relationship with the Lord, you understood your degree of responsibility in this relationship and in your life as well, for the satisfaction that is possible, as for the human life. So you just begin relating to the Lord, understanding the Creator and its principle and laws, developing that knowledge, that attitude, so that you begin, you become a psychological health person. Psychological health is samatva, which is brought about by Karma Yoga. Now, in the fifth verse, Krishna has introduced another very important sadhana or discipline or effort, which is self-effort, self-discipline, using the free will or our discrimination appropriately. Because in our scriptures we accept the existence of free will, there is no free will for the plant kingdom. And then Swami touched the point that we know pretty well, that the vegetal rain, the jivas are there, they are living creatures, they respond somehow to their environment, but it's all instinctively, they are programmed to respond in certain ways, they are conditioned to respond in certain ways, but they don't have a conscious mind that allow their a conscious choice, okay? A conscious degree. Oh, no decision is conscious because everybody responds from the unconscious mind. No, it's not really like that. There is a pressure from the unconscious mind. Every human being has some degree of conscious mind that could verify those pressures or those tendencies coming from the unconscious mind. How so? By connecting the dots, my response and my thoughts, attitudes, words, and deeds, and the results. And then I understand that I must change. I must change. Yes, on a certain degree, you, the real you, will never change because you are free, limitless consciousness. But in your secondary inferior nature, you must change. Yeah? You remember James found, you must, I'm going through a lot. No, you don't change. You don't change in your superior nature. And that is something that needs to be understood. But before that, we need to change. We changed with Karma Yoga, with the knowledge of Karma Yoga, and we purify, we by assimilating that science of Nitya, science of Shwara, and exercise our willpower and developing the proper intelligent exercise of free will, I will change, okay, positively. Therefore, we must accept that there is free will. And we must understand that there is no free will for the other creatures, for the other jivas, from the vegetal and animal reign. Because the animals do not have a conscious choice, or they don't have free will, they don't have responsibilities and duties, and therefore there is no karma for them. This is also easily understood. No? So why there is no karma for them? Because they are innocent. They are totally ignorant. They just act out instinctively according to their program. So they are always forgiven. Whatsoever. But the lion, the tiger came and ate all my neighbors here. So thanks God that I survived. So the tiger is innocent. So don't kill the tiger. Just try to catch it and take it to a safe place for the tiger and for the human beings. The basic thing is, according to our scriptures and according to pure logic, human beings do have a certain degree of choice, free will, in spite of our vasana load. There are people who do not want to accept free will at all. So what is the advantage of not accept free will? You don't have to exercise your responsibility. If you have freedom, you have responsibility in all level. Okay. So bring back my father. My father wants to be free to do things, but if he cannot accept the responsibility because it ends up falling on the people around my father, every confusion that he brings, yeah, and then he does not have that much freedom. You have to treat an old man like my father for 95 like a child. You cannot tell, oh, you already 5, you have free will, you can choose what you want. No, you have to restrict the choice of the child because he's not able to cope with, he's not able to be responsible with the consequence of that freedom at that level of 5 years. You understand? And then everybody has to be running to save the old man or the child because to the child, no discipline and no borders and limitations were drawn. And so it's very easy to say there is no free will, you don't have responsibility. And on the other hand, the other extreme is to say, no, I have free will and I go and get it. And I have full control over my destiny. People who believe in faith alone say that we are all puppets in the hand of God or in the hand of our vasanas. If you are Vedantine, I heard this argument from Vedantines for years here in Brazil. Well, there is no, people studying Vedanta for a long time were still stuck at that level. But now it's clear, most people understood. But if people insist that we cannot change our destiny, we from Vedanta will say, yes, there is a point to that. We cannot change your destiny. And destiny in our language is called parabhada karma. Okay, parabhada karma you cannot change. You can handle it, yeah, but you cannot change. And then the parabhada is something that is already in the system and it's going to fructify. We don't know exactly how so, but it's going to fructify. But you were there at the very beginning of the pipeline presenting new attitudes, words, and deeds into your karmic system. Yeah? So you have the power to begin offsetting some of those parabhadas. Parabhada being delivered, karma being delivered is parabhada. If you want to say that, yes, there is destiny, yes, if you say that destiny is parabhada, there is parabhada, but there is also free will. There are both. When we talk about destiny, people who believes or not believe in free will, when we talk about destiny, we say that there are two types of parabhada or destinies. Or one is punya, another papa, as we know. Oh, I'm dealing with a nice punya parabhada. I'm dealing with a very papa parabhada. Yeah? And then it's the observation of Swami Paramarthananda that people who deal with a lot of punya, they take credit and they say, yes, there is free will. I have lived it in my direct experience, as I have mentioned to you. I had a certain degree of material success when I came to Italy. And then I started making some small business, and I was slightly successful together with you. And then I started saying, yes, 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 there is free will. And if you want, you can manifest, you know. So when you are having success, you accept free will more, uh, you know, more often than not, let's say. But when you are dealing with Papa, with bad Pravada, oh, I lost all my money and this and that, and then you say, no, it's not my fault. I don't take the blame. It's destiny. So the same principle. So you don't want to take responsibility, and then you say, no, this is destiny. And I don't take blame. I only take pride. I take the merits, but I don't take the blame. And then some people believe one thing, the other people believe, oh no, I only have failures in life, therefore my life is destined to be like that. It's not my responsibility, it's all destiny. So acceptance of the free will is absolutely a must if you are Vedantine. Is Shastra oriented in understanding or thinking. So you want to think in harmony with the Shastra. So you have to understand that you have to accept free will, and you have to accept Parabhat as well, and destiny. You have to accept both. If we don't accept free will, there is no room for spiritual development. Anything is possible only if we accept our power to choose in harmony with Ishwara's laws. And by doing so, we grow emotionally, psychologically, mentally, and spiritually. People, when they get good punya, the mind think in harmony with the scriptures, they accept free will. Therefore, Krishna is addressing those punyavans, all the people who believe in free will only associate to punya. There are all these punyavans. But you are punyavan. You believe in free will only when you are having success. Then once we accept free will, then the next question is, if there is free will, do you accept destiny in addition to free will, or you do not accept Parabhada? You accept free will and Parabhada or destiny, or you only accept free will. If you only accept free will, you're going to have success 100% of the time, which is impossible because you can't always get what you want. Then what about those people who accept free will? Do they accept Parabhada? That is the argumentation here. We need to learn to accept both free will and Parabhada. We do not say free will alone exists. We say that there is free will and there is Parabhada, fate, howsoever we want to put. Fate is nothing but the result of our past thoughts, attitudes, actions, words and actions. Free will is the course of action that we choose to take during our interaction. Free will is the course of action that we choose to take because of our discrimination, because of our buddhi, our intellect, our viveka. So what is the most fundamental viveka or discrimination? Discrimination between Dharma and the Dharma. And Dharma include those decisions as I'm about to present my actions. on the course of my actions, I have to exercise this viveka, in the sense that is this action going to improve myself, or is going to, to make me even more unbalanced, more disturbed, So is this action in harmony with free will or in violation of free will? And is this action in harmony with Dharma or in violation of Dharma? So this is the most fundamental exercise of our intellectual, our buddhi, as Swami puts here. Once we are going to accept Prarabdha and free will as two forces operating together, which will determine our future? Then the next question is, between those forces, which one is more powerful? This is a very nice analysis, What is more power, free will or Prarabdha? What will be our answer? Our answer is we cannot answer. There is no answer. We can never say which one is more powerful. My exercise, intelligent, wise exercise of free will, or my Prarabdha, which is a mixture, a cocktail of my day-to-day nowadays actions and past actions and other factors. Now, what is more powerful? Our answer is we cannot answer that question, because every time there is Prarabdha and free will operating, you cannot predict the result. So we live in between those two forces, let's say, Prarabdha manifesting and my free will to deal with it, which is the intelligent, wise exercise of my actions and as well of my capacity to take what is happening with samatyavan, with equanimity. So we have these two powers, two forces. My discrimination as I'm interacting and acting out, and the Prarabdha manifesting. And then he says that which one is more determining, let's say, instead of powerful. So they operate together, and there is in their relative strength varies from time to time, from people, because fate is not an uniform force. Fate is a force determined by our past actions. Since the actions do not have uniform intensity and quality as well, the actions in the past, they have good and bad qualities. Good actions, so actions, and bad actions. And then those actions are manifesting as my Prarabdha. And we don't know. I know that I'm putting up an effort to improve on my actions, and my actions are feeding into in my causal body, my vasana load, and then it's producing Prarabdhas that have varieties of in quality and intensity. Yeah? The fate also cannot have, the Prarabdha cannot have uniform intensity and quality. And therefore, we say that the Prarabdha has got three grades: Prabala Prarabdha, Madhyama Prarabdha, and Durbala Prarabdha, according to the intensity and quality of the fruits of my action, the karma pala. So my karmic system is producing Prarabdha, and Prarabdha can be of three levels as it's being presented here, in terms of intensity. And the destiny also is every moment different, though. Then we can understand then that the intensity of my Prarabdha is going to be different from moment to moment in terms of intensity or quality. Every moment I'm facing my Prarabdha on different grades. And every time I use my free will on different grades as well, because we don't have a steady mind, always exercise 100% wisely, our choice in regards to our actions. So the quality of the actions are changing. There is a variation there, and also the parameter is coming as an end product, which is somehow is a byproduct of all actions in the past and recent actions. Uh, and every time I use my free will in my operation of free will, there is an intensity as well. I can exercise my choice in regard to my actions in a casual approach, in a more focused and a serious approach. Now I'm very vigilant and I want to present my action, uh, very carefully, let's say. So there is always a grade in the use of free will as well. There is a grade in the quality and intensity of parabada. Therefore, the result will vary depending upon both the fate and the parabada and the free will. Then it is so powerful that in front of that the free will cannot do anything. And then he's presenting the different levels of parabada. There is certain parabadas of fate that is so strong, powerful in terms of intensity that free will cannot do anything about that. You cannot adjust. You have to take it in. That sense, the free will is helpless. Okay, you just take it. You cannot manage. You cannot change. Well, the only thing that free will can do is ask the Lord for the inner strength to face that extreme, intense Parabada. When we talk in those terms, we are referring to Papa Parabada, Papa difficult Parabada, which is going to come exactly like a cyclone prediction. When we have a cyclone in the United States, which is more common, there is a certain prediction, but the scientists never know exactly from which angle and all the other variables and how strong or less strong. So when you know that there is a parabola like that, a very adverse circumstance such as a cyclone, no, we do not have the power to stop. We don't have the power to predict it precisely. So, but that does not mean that we should be helpless. What we can do, we can prepare ourselves to that parabola, for that parabola. That's called intelligence. Preparation is a good exercise as well of our viveka in regards to parabolas that are unavoidable. Now we have a circumstance, a situation in the world that it's good to be prepared because things are not looking so good either. You do not stop parabada such as a cyclone. So this is called parabada. They are so strong that the best thing you can do is to prepare your mental, emotional strength, and sometimes some physical things as well. If it's a cyclone, no, it's this year they come intensely. I'm going to find a shelter. I'm going to build a shelter below the floor of my house. Things like that, physically, materially, practically. It's called reduction or minimization or management of a parabada, the impact of a parabada. So then comes the third type of a parabada, which is very weak. I can put forth sufficient effort, which is called prayachita karma. And by prayachita karma, that parabola can be wiped out, can be avoided, can be nullified, can be treated, can be remedied. Therefore, if you ask whether fate or parabola can be changed or not, my answer is it will depend upon quality and intensity of the parabola. So parabola cannot be really measured because there are so many variations of the intensities and qualities of parabola. He did not mention about good parabola, but anyhow, and now the free will, our discernment as we interact with the field, is also powerful. But we have established already, Swamiji, that even on that level, sometimes we allows, we are a little bit less alert and we make mistakes. Now we create some uh, some conflicts or some difficult situations that we have to deal with, and then we have in both cases there is a variety in terms of quality and intensity of exercise of free will and the parabola. We can never determine which is more determining than the other, which is more powerful. I will not say it cannot be remedied. I will not say there is no remedy for it. It is prevalent, no remedy. If it's prevalent parabola, there is no remedy. You just ask the Lord for strength or rely on your strength. If you do balance parabola, there is certain remedies. It's like going to the doctor. You ask the doctor, can you cure my disease? And then he says, let me make some exams, and then I will make a diagnosis, and then I will find out if it's curable or uncurable disease. And even in sometimes the doctors say, no, there is no cure. This is a terminal illness. Tell everybody else, and then when you least expect, the person heals and survive, and everybody's like, wow, this was a miracle healing, So you never know. That's where medicine is also not able to answer. Some case they say he will survive and the person die next week. Sometimes they say the person is condemned to live only 30 days, but the person lives 30 years. There is no uniform answer to whatsoever is more powerful, parabola and of free will. And in the case of miraculous healing like that, there is a play as well between free will and parabola. The parabola may be a very strong terminal level 4 cancer. How do you say level 4 or something like that? Level 4 cancer, and such as my brother's wife case, she's terminal and so on. But there is always a certain power of free will there that can be exercised to make to contradict science, because the person I have seen that with my brother's wife, she wants to live. Faculty is not so good, but she wants to live, and she's doing what she can with the little cognition that she had, and she wants to live. And sometimes that will power, may contradict those medical diagnoses as well. Therefore, our future is neither totally controlled by parabola, nor it's totally controlled by willpower or my free will. It is a resultant of both forces. To use the physics language, it's going to be the resultant of the parabola and free will. And therefore, free will has got a contributory role in determining our future. Now, this I studied the engineering, so these pictures of a resultant between two forces. We all studied physics to a certain level. So we have something in between there, which is going to be the resultant of those two principles, two forces. Since the free will has got a contributory role in this equation, one who follows Vedic teachings, he always has the attitude that I can take charge of my life by exercising properly my free will, my willpower. And that's why, this is beautiful, and that's why human goals are called Purushartha. Purushartha means human goals, only available for human beings. No other animal have agendas, goals, or how we say, accomplishments. So we say that there are Purushartha. Why? Because there is free will. If there was no free will, there were no human goals, human purpose. You know, human pursuits. So how can you have a human pursuit if you don't have a free will to decide what you're going to pursue? Huh? Of course, there is free will. We never say that our goals, our pursuits were given by God. No, we ourselves, we define our goals. It's not that Santa Claus is going to give us our human pursuits. Moksha is Purushartha, it's to be chosen and accomplished by me and by me alone. Have this moksha Purushartha, force Purushartha, human Purushartha, moksha. Purushartha is not produced by, this moksha is not created by moksha itself, you understand? It's created by Jiva, it's Jiva's Purushartha. Jiva has decided, I want to accomplish this goal. I want to accomplish self-knowledge and moksha. It's always the Jiva, responsibility of the Jiva Atma to choose. You are the chooser of your future, yes. But I have to deal with the other force, which is my parabada coming from previous births and many other factors as well, which involve other people and other physical force. Arjuna, I expect you to be a chooser of your future. I accept you to exercise your free will. I'm not going to force upon you anything. You need to choose. Once you believe in this free will, and you have decided to choose your future wisely, I will be available to help you. I'm adding here, editing, because it says once you believe in free will and you have decided to choose your future wisely, I'm going to help you. No, the guru, in the case of Krishna Vedanta, is there for those rare individuals who want to choose one's future in moksha and freedom, in the spiritual elevation. Vedanta is there only to help those people who wants to exercise free will wisely. The Lord can help only those who are willing to put forth the necessary effort. A guru can help only those students who believe in themselves and that goes to the previous verse. No? You, your mind, your intellect, can be your best friend, your best enemy, can destroy you or can bring out, uplift you. Otherwise, the students will sympathize with this Swami and they will say, Pavan Swami, he's trying to improve me. So this idea that the guru is transforming my life is really fake, flawed. The guru is doing things for me. The guru is transforming my life. I had that kind of fantasy when I was associated with my first guru. First, you have to uplift yourself, believe yourself, self-effort, self-discipline, self-confidence. Without it, nothing is possible. That's why Vivekananda says, one who believes in himself or herself, he defines as ashika. Faith in God is next stage. Faith in Guru is next stage. Faith in Shastra is next stage. But faith in yourself is fundamental. All the other three faiths are valid and useful only if there is faith in yourself, faith in myself. One who believes oneself. We can do it. Therefore, Arjuna, please take care of your life. Okay, let's stop here. I have to do a few things quickly here before lunch. We meet again next Monday with Mandukya. Anything from you guys?
I just have a short question.
Please.
Do you know if Vivekananda is supposed as a part of our tradition?
Yes and no. I would say it's part of the Vedanta tradition, but there are some variations, no?
Yeah.
So you see, this Ramakrishna, what say? How do they say Ramakrishna mission or Ramakrishna? You remember? So it passed by Vivekananda and then later on Yogananda. They are very much into yoga, into samadhi and other things like that. And the entire teaching there has this experience, action, and time, space connotation very often. And besides, they have subdivided the tradition in 4 sadhanas, in 4 kinds of yogas. The Kami yoga for people who have too much Rajoguna, meditation yoga, upasana or meditation or dhyana, for those who have such a contemplative mind. And then for the people who have a very emotional and sentimental, they say you have to do the path of devotional yoga, bhakti yoga. And then for the people who are very intellectual, say you are damned to take the path of Jnana Yoga, which is the worst of all, because it's just men. So they divide the tradition at the time, and it was said that Vivekananda especially did that because he wants to find more appeal in the people in the USA when he went there to do his lectures at the time and so on. People would not understand the Vedanta is only 2 paths, Kama Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So he made a compromise like that. But this is more or less all over. And then when they talk about Kami Yoga for the people who are more rajasic, more active, they present Kami Yoga as selfless work, which is only a small part of Kami Yoga. They don't present as the logic, the teachings, the rational, the understanding, the knowledge in regards to Ishvara Jiva Jagat.
Yeah.
They go lightly on that aspect. That's my impression from the very few things I know and heard about the difference.
So service
Here,
most for the junior student.
yeah, something like that. And here and there, Swami Paramarthananda gives me the impression that I'm not much off. But you see, Swami Paramarthananda, he sees value in everything. Even in Ashtanga Yoga and this and that, he sees everything as valuable. But he sees a distinction between yoga and Vedanta. Because yoga has a certain state as the ultimate goal, and then for the Bhakti Yoga, it has the love for God, the ultimate goal. And the people who do meditation is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the ultimate goal. And the people who do selfless work, the ultimate goal is a punya in a certain celestial loka. You understand? So they are different goals. And as I told you, I never found something that makes better and more sense than Vedanta as presented in our tradition. Okay.
Thank you.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. We meet again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Alexei.
so much.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
bye now.
Love.